Welcome everyone to Tri-Match Saturday here on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions today will be playing the visiting Covenant Scots. I'm Damian Turley here with my partner Colin Hackshaw, with my guy Griffin on the camera once again. We're the Dream Team, man. We're back once again, man.
We are. We witnessed a great game on Wednesday. First conference win for the Lions, moves them up in the standings a little bit and puts them on the brink of playoff position.
Yeah, I mean, we also got LaGrange coming in later today to play Covenant at 2 o'clock, and then they'll play the Lady Lions at 4. So I'm really excited to see this tri-match. And, I mean, it's a beautiful Saturday, Colin. One of the first cold days outside, actually.
And cold in here, too.
Absolutely.
Definitely worth mentioning.
But we'll be back in a short moment of time. We're going to do the national anthem and the lineups. You're listening to Piedmont Lady Lions Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome in everybody to Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions today. It's kind of a tri-match, you could say. It's a tri-match Saturday, everybody. I'm very excited. We have Piedmont Lady Lions, the Covenant Scots, and we also have LaGrange coming in just a little bit later to play this 2 o'clock game against Covenant. Then they'll play our Lady Lions at 4. Colin, I am Damian Taylor. I got my guy Colin, my partner, and then I got my guy Griffin on the camera, man. It's a great Saturday.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge tri-match when it comes to the CCS standings. It's going to be very exciting to see how these teams play out.
Absolutely, Colin. This is an in-conference tri-match. You got Covenant, Piedmont, and LaGrange. With Covenant right now, they're sitting at a swapping 6-10. They're 2-2 in conference. Their conference wins have came against, let's see here, the Agnes Scots, and I want to say Belhaven as well, if I'm not mistaken. And our Lady Lions, they just got their first conference win this past Wednesday against Wesleyan College. So let's see if Piedmont Lady Lions can get another 2 wins actually today here against LaGrange and Covenant.
And you mentioned Covenant being 6-10, but mind you, their out-of-conference schedule has been ridiculous this year. 4 ranked teams, including number 2 East Texas Baptist yesterday and number 14 Barry yesterday.
Yes, Covenant has came in. They're playing 4 games in 2 days, including the 2 that they're playing today. So, I mean, yesterday they took losses, but like you said, they were to very great ranked teams in the country actually. So, on to starting lineups though for Piedmont. I'll let you take it over, Colin.
Yeah, for Piedmont starting today is number 2 Katie Hubbard, number 3 Bailey Daughtery, number 6 Sarah Bierke, number 8 Alex Wingate, number 13 Aaron Lemons, and at libero is Zoe Coelho, and then also Kaya Perkinson.
And for the Covenant Scots, we have Gentry Henley at libero. We have Gabby Summerall, Kinsley Dupree, Carmen Harvey, Kaylee Schanfelt, Scarlett Martz, and Kennedy Barber. And head coach Stephanie Warden coaching for the Covenant Scots in today's game. Now we're about to start getting set and ready. Get these ladies going for today's first game of this tri-match Saturday. Here at serve to start the game is Erin Lemons, the sophomore, who also leads her team in assists so far on the season.
We saw her doing a lot of serves on Wednesday, starting just about every set from beyond the out-of-bounds line.
And speaking of Covenant, they're off to the races. There goes Daughtery, taps it over. And Coelho. Libero hitting it up, and Covenant just couldn't get it over. That was number 11, Schanfelt. She hit the ball, but just not hard enough as the ball went straight down. And that will be point 1 to Piedmont to start this tri-match Saturday.
Maybe some early nerves there.
Set it up, fake setup, number 6. That was Dupree. With a short tap over the net. Covenant's a very great team, you could say. Just they got a lot of experience playing those great out-of-conference teams and those ranked teams, and it's probably easier for them in conference now that they kind of felt like they played the best of the best so far this season.
And we mentioned they played 2 games yesterday, so maybe a little tired, but there's a lot of depth on this team. It's going to be a lot of quick subs for them.
Goes Coelho, Lemons, Daughtery, and Daughtery will get the kill. And an early substitution already is Carver checking in for Wingate. Carver, the senior. She will be serving now. As Piedmont is up 2-1 now early in this first set. Goes Gentry. Carver just couldn't get it. And number 2, Summerall, will be now serving for the Scots. Coelho, Lemons, here goes Hubbard. And Summerall just couldn't handle it as it went straight off her hands and straight to the ground.
Yeah, Hubbard with that kill had 7 on Wednesday against Wesleyan, along with 3 other players.
Yes, Colin, and I feel like the key to success for the Lady Lions today is to start off hot, which they are so far. In the last game, when the Lady Lions started off hot, they won each and every set. Speaking of hot, there goes Hubbard. And the Scots just couldn't get to the ball.
Lions really playing with a lot of confidence right now. Like you said, hot start, definitely what they need in order to win this game. And so far, so good.
And it seems like there's something on the floor, maybe a little spill or something.
Yeah.
Ceiling.
That last return, the ball got a little too high. May have knocked something down from the ceiling.
That power from Hubbard made the Covenant Scots, both of them actually hit the ball very high into the sky. And it hit the top of the gym actually, and some gym debris came down on the floor. As a libero, Gentry doing a very good deed.
Doing the work there. She's smiling. She loves it.
Yeah, but like we said, though, Colin, the Lady Scots are actually making a quick turnaround playing today after facing the number 2 and 14 teams in the country at the Bear Invitational just yesterday. So this might be a reason why they're kind of off to a slow start so far in this first set.
And tough schedule for them as they have to turn around and play LaGrange back-to-back right after this match.
As the Lady Lions are trying to keep their spirits up, keep the energy going early in this first set. You could say it is an early game though, Colin. It is 12 o'clock only. And I mean, after this, they get a break and then they're back at it at 4 o'clock. So you got to keep the momentum going some way and somehow.
12 o'clock is a very NCAA early game kind of time.
And Coelho serves, set up, and hit hard, number 15 on the Covenant Lady Scots. That was Delaney Sturm. And Colin, I mean, in the pregame, we've seen these Lady Scots, they were hitting the ball with extreme power, so I can only imagine how it was going to transfer into this game. So that was now Amber Schnook serving. Lemons sets up Hubbard. Hubbard hits and let it go. Was a libero for Covenant. That was Gentry. She thought it was actually out, but it was actually counted in. That is another point. Piedmont. And we have a couple of substitutions. It's Caricato and Chappelle. It's Caricato will now serve. And she lets it out once again, but this time her judgment is correct. That was Gentry letting the ball out once again, as that would be now a point to Covenant. And now serving will be Carmen Harvey. Harvey hits. There goes Carver. There goes Gentry. Set up. Number 6, and she just couldn't hit it. That was Dupree.
Yeah, that pass looks like it threw her off a little bit wide. She would have had to get it around that foul pole.
Yeah, it seems like when Covenant is setting up their teammates, they're hitting it, but they're not hitting it as hard and as high over the net. It's giving Piedmont the advantage, you could say. And here goes Hubbard serving now. There we go again, and she hits it over this time. Coelho, my mistake. Sets up once again Covenant. Covenant with another hit. Caricato was there though. Coelho hits it over. And just got it. Was a libero once again. Harvey. Henley.
Couple sneak attacks from Coelho on that. And a couple sets right to the middle of the Covenant's formation.
And Covenant will now get another point.
Believe the net was touched by a white jersey.
Here goes Henley serving. And Henley just doesn't get it over the net, as that went straight in the middle actually. As that would give Piedmont their 7th point of the game. And here goes Perkinson, who had a very big game, you could say, against Wesleyan on Wednesday. Serving for the Lady Lions. And that was Gabby Summerall. Summerall. That will account for that point, as that will now give Covenant a 6-7 deficit. Only down one, only down 1 point. Here's Barber now. Hit by Wingate, set up. And Hubbard hits it. Goes Henley. And that was Miss Shanfelt, the sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas, with the kill. Here goes Barber now, setting once again, serving. Ricardo. And that will be a point to Covenant, as Coelho just hit it out.
Now we talked about starting hot, but we saw them let Wesleyan back into a couple sets. That's something they need to avoid today.
And there it goes once again. Set up, there goes Chappelle. And Chappelle just hits it a little too hard, as that will be another point going towards the Lady Scots. Well, Harper's been back there serving for a little bit, Colin, the last 3 times.
Yeah, a little bit of a run for the Scots.
Hubbard blocked. And that point will go to Covenant once again. Covenant with the momentum shift changer, you could say. They've been on a run for the past couple of possessions.
You hear the energy now coming from the white bench.
Goes Hubbard. Wingate. Goes Coelho. And Covenant hits it right back over. And now it'll be a point to Piedmont, as the Lady Scots are just a little bit confused as of what happened there and why is it not the point.
Looks like the ball is held on to a little bit too long. They're going to call that one a hold.
Here serving now is Lemons, the sophomore. There goes Covenant. Fake setup, and it doesn't. It was just out of bounds. Covenant, so far in this first set, they have been doing a lot of fake setups to kind of throw Piedmont Lady Lions off.
We saw a lot of power and accuracy out of their spikes and warm-ups. They haven't quite dialed that into the game quite yet.
Another setup there. That was Summerall with the hard hit, but Piedmont recovers. Wingate. Another fake setup. Libero hits it. Another setup, another fake setup. And that will be a point to Piedmont Choello.
Man, I say that, and then we see a couple good spikes by the Scots, responded very well by the front line of Piedmont.
Coelho there actually leads the team in digs, a very great player, a senior making a huge impact on the team this season. Covenant recovers, goes Coelho, Lemons throws it over, and Lemons! And now Piedmont now is getting the momentum right back from Covenant, as they're now up 11-10 in this first set. Now here's Lemons serving, who just scored. And now Lemons sets up Daughtery. Daughtery hits it over. Recovered by Covenant. Another setup. And here's Hubbard with the recover. Lemons sets up Bierke now. Bierke! Bierke in the last game was a menace towards Wesleyan, and now Coach Wharton will now call a timeout on the Covenant side.
Yeah, we talked about Lemon's serving ability early on in this game, but she can do that too, by the way. 16 assists on Wednesday against Wesleyan, led the team.
Well, we'll take a short break. We'll be back in a short minute. You're listening to Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont Women's Volleyball and Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions are up 12-10 on the Covenant Lady Scots, as sophomore here Aaron Lemons will now be serving for the Lady Lions.
Couple serves in a row now for number 13.
And there goes Covenant up and away. And that was Miss Shanfield. She just couldn't hit it over the net. That now give Piedmont 13 to Covenant Scots 10. And Lemon serves. Harvey hits it up. And that one will count. Shanfield recovers for her mistake in the last possession and gets a kill right away.
We don't have the best view, but I don't know that that one looked into me.
And Covenant with a couple of substitutions. Sarah Jennings, the junior, now here to serve. And goes Wingate to Lemons. Lemons taps it over, but it's blocked. Daughtery with the save. Bjerke hits it up. And Covenant once again, Gabby Sumrall with the kill. And then Jennings here will serve for the Lady Scots. There goes Hubbard to Lemons to Wingate. Wingate hits it over, recovered by Covenant. Hit over, and that was in. That was just in by Covenant.
Now that one was a precise shot. That was right on the line. Beautiful touch shot.
Lady Scots now tie the game up in this first set. Serve. Wingate hits it back. Coelho here. Bjerke. The setup right there. And Coelho just couldn't get there. And that one, that was the first time you see a setup and then 3 Scots actually jump to make it seem like they're all going for the ball.
Scots seem to be finding a little bit more of a rhythm now with their setups. A little bit scary for Piedmont.
Ball goes up. Coelho goes Hubbard. Tapped over by Bjerke. Bjerke hit it again, and Bjerke.
That short drop on the second to last touch for Piedmont really had Covenant crashing the net, opened up that back line.
As Carver once again checks in for Wingate. Carver's going to go ahead and serve here for the Lady Lions. That now ties the game back up at 14. Lemons, Coelho, Hubbard, and that was a pretty smart move by Sturm. She just hit it right over where there were no Lady Lions in sight.
Yeah, going against the flow of traffic, you could say. Similarly to what we saw the point before.
Sumrall serves. Carver right off of her hands. That ball was so high, it went over the railing. Now Covenant is taking this game momentum right back as they're now up to 16-14 in this first set. Sumrall serves again. Carver almost couldn't handle it. Lemon saves it. Coelho hits it over. Covenant's there. Carver. Lemon sets up. Daughtery hits it over. Covenant recovers once more. And serve, and that is out. As Piedmont will score the point.
Well, so far this set has been a game of runs. You see a few points go one way and a few the other.
Sturm scored the last possession, but this time she just hits it a little too hard. And that's what I realized a lot of Scots do. They hit the ball very, very hard when they're hitting. Speaking of it, that is Covenant's 17th point. It's Piedmont's 15. A couple more substitutions come. Amber Schnook is now serving for the Lady Scots. Hubbard. Lemon sets up. Daughtery hits it over. Covenant recovers. There goes a setup. Hit it over. Coelho. Covenant now. There goes Stern. That'll be point Scots as Coach Tatum has seen enough. She's going to call a timeout for her Lady Lions as Piedmont Lady Lions are down 3 now, Colin. What have you seen so far in this momentum shifter after Coach on the Covenant side called their timeout?
Well, I mean, it's been like 5 points in a row, 5 points in a row. No matter who can hold on to a run the longest and build up a lead that will not be able to come back from.
As you said, Colin, the Lady Scots are middle of the pack right now in the CCS. This win will definitely take them over into 3-2 in the conference, and then also they play LaGrange right after this. So hopefully they can go 4-2 and kind of get a bounce back game, you could say.
Piedmont, on the other hand, could go from 7th to potentially 4th today with a couple of wins.
Absolutely. As Covenant is back on the court, and we're waiting for Piedmont here, Coach Tatum trying to talk to her girls to get them back on track as they're down 3 early in this game, only the first set. So we got plenty more sets potentially if Piedmont can, get back on track. And Covenant, just keep doing what they're doing. Right now, there's 2 battle-tested teams right now, and I'm really excited to see how this set is going to go.
I mean, we could see a 5-set game pretty easily here today.
Here goes Covenant serving. Carver, the ball goes up once again. Coelho there. It's Perkinson. Covenant, there goes a setup. And Stern once again hits it hard off of the Lady Lions, and Stern once again is on fire from that left side of the court, Colin.
Yes, Sturm leading the team in kills so far this game, 5 already in this first set.
Delaney Stern sending out a good 5-10. And Daughtery, and the ball is stuck on the net, and Perkinson couldn't hit it. Hubbard gets it though, and Lemons hits it over. Goes a setup, and it's blocked by Perkinson. And Stern once again, Hubbard hits it, but it's out of bounds far to the left, and that will give Covenant 20 to Piedmont's 15. And Coach Tatum needs another timeout.
That was a weird point. Ball bouncing back and forth on the net, in the net, over the net.
Yes, I was really confused there. The ball got stuck on the net between both 2 Lady Lions and then 1 Covenant Scot. But Stern in this short momentum shifter right here, she has been on fire.
And now up to 7 kills for Sturm in this first set.
In the first set alone, Colin. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball and Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. And welcome back, everybody, to Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions are down actually to the Covenant Scots 22-15 in this first set. And here goes Hubbard. Sets up Covenant. Covenant hits again, blocked by Perkinson. And Stern just couldn't get it. Lemons hits it up to Coelho. Coelho and Daughtery hits it over. Covenant responds. Daughtery hits it again. There's Lemons, sets up Perkinson. Perkinson gets blocked. Wingate hits it up. Hubbard now takes her shot. And that will be out off of Stern's hands. Lady Scots just couldn't get it as it went far out of bounds. And that will give Piedmont 16. As we have substitutions here, Caricato and Chappelle checking in for the sophomores, Daughtery and Lemons.
The net is really getting its work today.
Absolutely. The ball has been stuck on the net a couple times today in this first hit. And we have a couple more sets to go, Colin. And there goes Caricato now serving. Stern, once again, has been having a very big game in his first set so far. Hubbard now. Here goes again. Stern fake sets. And that ball goes way out of bounds off of Caricato's hands. And once again, that Lady Scots power, hitting power, it's really affecting Piedmont, as every time mostly the Lady Scots hit the ball, it's going off of these Piedmont Lady Lions' hands or arms, and it's going way out of bounds, Colin.
They have some strong big hitters up front. Like you said, 90-mile-an-hour fastball coming off the hand.
Here goes Perkinson. Perkinson hits the ball. And Lady Scots recover. Here goes Coelho. Taps it over. Saved by the libero. Hits. And that will be point to Miss Dupree. The 5'7" senior out of Cross Plains, Tennessee.
Once again, compliments of the net. Really throwing off the path of that ball.
And there goes Stern serving. And that is Piedmont. The communication there, Ladies Lion trying to see what went wrong there, as that will give the Lady Scots a 7-point lead.
Could hear Coach Tatum yelling out, and I think the players thought differently.
There goes Hubbard now hitting with power. Set up. The senior out of Cross Plains hits it. Piedmont recovers. Now Hubbard now. It gets blocked. A multi-effort from Miss Ella Bailey and Kennedy Barber, my mistake, on the block there. That now gives the Covenant Scots an 8-point lead. Stern here now, setting up again. Caricato hits it over. Set up. And that point will go to Miss Scarlett Martz, the junior out of Naples, Florida. And that will be the end of the first set. The Covenant Scots with 25 to your Piedmont Lady Lions 16. We'll be back in a short moment of time, Colin. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, to Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions are down 1-0 to the Covenant Lady Scots. Colin, in that first set, I mean, There was a lot of hit power from those Covenant Scots. I mean, Delaney Sturm, 7 kills in 1 set.
7 is crazy for one thing. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see how Piedmont responds to their heavy hitters, whether it's more blocking power up front or more defensive players in the back.
And here goes the Lady Lions. Hubbard taps it over. Recovered by the Scots. Sturm, there she goes. Coelho. And a set up there. And it's hit hard, but Hubbard with the block, but that will be out. And Covenant will score the first point in this second set.
We saw a very exciting first set, though. A lot of back and forth.
And Amber Schnook will now serve off of Hubbard's hands to Caricato. He goes Bierke. Goes Covenant now. Sturm hits it, and that will be a point again for Covenant as it went off of 2 Lady Lions' hands.
Make it 8 on the day for Sturm now.
Sturm, she is on fire, as if they didn't just play 2 games yesterday.
Yeah.
And Hubbard now. It was Caricato setting up Hubbard. Hubbard taps it over. There goes Stern. And the referee calls. Referees communicating with each other on what just happened there. And there goes Hubbard talking to one of the referees. Just having a short intermediate in the game right now.
I think we might have gotten an inverted whistle. Looks like they initially had a call for the ref put 2 thumbs up.
Ball will be Covenant's ball with number 4 Schnook serving once more.
Yeah, redo the point now. Still 2-0.
Schnook. Caricato. And Bierke didn't know who was hitting between her and Hubbard, and that will give Covenant a free point there. Kind of a mental error, you could say, early in the second set between Hubbard and Bierke.
Yeah, just communication goes a long ways.
Now goes Schnook back to Carver. Caricato sets up Forrest. Forrest hits. Covered by Covenant. And there goes Covenant, and off of Hubbard's hands. That'll be a 4th point. And Schnook there coming from the server position back to the front line and hits it and gets her first kill of the game.
Schnook been in charge with a lot of serving, but she does lead the team so far this season with 223 assists.
And that will be out. That was Stern once again, who's been pretty hot, but once again, that power of hers just did not come out on her side, as that will be a out off of Covenant, and Piedmont will get their first point of this second set. Lemons now here to serve the sophomore who leads her team in assists. There goes Schnook to Stern. Stern gets blocked, and Covenant, what a save, the libero, Hubbard, and there goes Katie Hubbard.
High IQ play, realizing that Covenant was so out of order there. Just giving it a nice tap over the net, putting it in a spot where no black jerseys were.
The power from Gentry Henley there, though. She hit the ball from very far back, and it made the other side to Piedmont. But Piedmont now making their run as Daughtery. Piedmont now has 3 to Covenant Scott's 4. They're now on the run. Lemons back at the libero position. Lemons back at the serve position. There goes Schnook. Stern doing what she does best. Another kill on her resume in this game so far. And now Stern will get a break. So will Miss Sarah Jennings. And now back at server is Carmen Harvey. There she goes. Hubbard. Lemon sets up Hubbard once again. Hubbard hits it. Harvey's here. And there goes Covenant, and that will be in. Kinsley Dupree. That'll now push Covenant's lead back up to 3. And here's Harvey, the freshman, serving. Goes Carver to Coelho to Hubbard, taps over. Covenant there and hits. Lemons hits it up. Coelho's there. Daughtery hits the goal, the net, my mistake. And that will be another point towards Covenant, as Covenant is now taking the momentum back. As you said, Colin, earlier, this is a game of runs in this volleyball.
It has been. Serving team has been winning a lot of points in this game.
And Carver thought Lemons was going to be there, but she wasn't, as that will be a point again towards Covenant. As Covenant has now pushed this lead to 5. And Carver will be substituted for Wingate. Here goes the freshman serving. Lemons to Bierke. Bierke taps it over. And Sarah Bierke, the sophomore who has had a very impactful game last game against Wesleyan, now getting on the board in the second set. And here goes Hubbard now serving. As her Lady Lions are down 4 right now early in this second set. There goes Covenant. Bailey hits it over, and that will be scored. Just couldn't get there enough with the Lady Lions, as that will give Covenant another point. As Scarlett March, the junior, will now be subbed out. Here goes Coelho to Wingate. Wingate taps it over, and that will be scored. Alex Wingate, assisted by Zoe Coelho.
Wingate, one of the 4 players to have 7 kills on Wednesday. Her impact is starting to be felt now today.
And Coelho with the serve. And Bailey. Coelho there. Daughtery hits, and Daughtery's give the kill.
Piedmont is finding the response to the Scots' heavy hits.
Daughtery with some fire there on that ball. Lady Scots could not handle. And Coelho here to Harvey. Tapped over and off of Lemons, a little frustrated, but that will be another point towards Lady Scots, as we have 2 substitutions. That is Claudia Beach and Miss Kennedy Barber checking in the game for Lady Scots. And Barber, speaking of her, will now serve for Lady Scots with her team up 4 now in this second set, 10-6. Off of Perkinson, Lemons hits it over. Now set up the libero and hits, blocks, actually not. The ball looked like it got stuck between Bailey Daughtery's hands. Now we get the Covenant Scots a 5-point lead. Barber now back to serve once more. Here goes Wingate. Lemons taps it over. And it's a toss-up, a little confusion there with Covenant. And that will give another point to Piedmont. So we now have substitutions coming in.
Nothing fancy there, but Piedmont's got to realize just putting it over the net is going to cause confusion and mistakes for Covenant.
Now checking in Caricato and Forrest. Caricato now serving. Here goes off of Harvey. Sets up, and that was Miss Sumrall, who was tied in the last set with total attacks. She gets a kill in this second set. And once more, Miss Sturm, who had 7 kills in the first set, checks in. Here goes Jennings, serving. Coelho, Wingate. Jennings is there. Taps up to Sturm. Wingate there. Caricato now serves. Forrest hits. Recovered by Covenant. Hits back. Forrest is there. Forrest taps it over, but the libero is there, and Sturm's there now. Wingate off of to Hubbard to Coelho. Sets and taps over. Forrest just couldn't get there in enough time, as that will now be.
Yeah, that one went just out of bounds.
Oh, my mistake.
After it went over the net, so Carver's going to get a chance to serve now.
Forrest with the senior play being very smart, letting the ball go out of bounds, as that will be a point to Piedmont. Here goes Carver now, the senior. Covenant almost lost it there. Actually, Covenant will. It goes out of bounds. Smart move by Carver.
A smart move by our statistician down there, Bella Kakamo. Catching that ball, making sure no one could reach over the stat table to get it.
Now takes the Piedmont Lady Lions deficit down to 3, and Carver once again on fire serving. As Gentry just couldn't handle the pass, and that will now take the Lady Lions deficit down to 2 now, and the Lions are climbing back in this second set.
What did we talk about? Game of runs. The serving team has been scoring a lot today.
Let's see if Carver could do it once more. And Carver just got a little cold there, hits the net. And that will be a point towards Covenant, as that is 18. Scarlett March, the 6'2 junior, checking in the game. Here goes Summerall now serving. Carver now there. Caricato. Coelho. Serves. Sturm once again. Caricato couldn't get there enough time. That'll be a point towards the Covenant Scots. And Coach Cat has seen enough once more, and she will call a timeout. So Lady Lions are down 4 in this second set. You can kind of say this is an important set for Piedmont. They go down 2-0. I mean, it's really hard to come back from down 2-0 in volleyball.
And I mean, timeout there makes sense. Going down by 4, don't want to let Covenant get on a big run again. But she's got to be happy with the way that they crawled back into this set.
Absolutely. We'll be back in a short moment. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, from the timeout. We have your Lady Lions down 4 right now in this second set to the Covenant Scots, as we have number 2 Summerall here now about to serve for her Lady Scott teammates. And there she goes, Summerall. There goes Carver now. Caricato hits, serves to Forrest. Forrest hits it over, covered by the Lady Scots. And serves now, and it is blocked by Perkinson. Kaya Perkinson, the senior, making her impact felt. Summerall now serving once more. Oh wait, that was a score to Covenant. My mistake.
That one got blocked into the net, unfortunately.
And Carver hits it back to Caricato. The Forrest hits it over. And Covenant. Carver with the recover to Coelho. Forrest hits it back, and Forrest hits it out, and that would be a point once more to Covenant. That boosts their lead up to 6 now in this second set. Summerall serving. And Summerall hits the net, and she just gets a little bit frustrated with herself, but that will only take their lead down to 5. As Bierke on the Piedmont side checks in for Coelho, and Perkinson now serving for the Lady Lions. And Perkinson hits a little too hard, and that is now out. As that boosts the lead back up to 6. As Amber Schnook and Miss Ella Bailey will check back in the game for the Lady Scots. Schnook now here to serve. With their team up 6 in this second set.
Snook continuing her great day with assists. She has 13 so far in a set and a half.
And there goes Bailey, Hubbard, Bierke. There goes Stern. Completes and continues her hot start to this game so far. And will it be another timeout on Coach Saban's behalf? Yes, it will. Lady Lions are down 7 in this second set, and Colin, Covenant has really picked up the energy. They're playing as a team, literally hitting from all over the court, really giving the Lions issues.
Yeah, we were talking about maybe some confusion or jitters earlier on in the game for Covenant. They didn't look the most confident yet. Now they've definitely settled in, and they've gotten rolling.
Yes, this is why Covenant is one of those, you could say, middle-of-the-pack teams so far, but right now they're showing that they can definitely compete with the best in the conference.
It definitely looks like they're making their way up this year. Their coach looks like purposely scheduled some really hard games to get them ready for conferences, and that's exactly what it's done.
Yes, definitely. LaGrange is now in the house, and they're definitely showing LaGrange what they have to deal with in the next game at 2 o'clock.
Also in the house, we got Piedmont men's soccer playing in a little over an hour. And Piedmont Lions are busy this weekend.
Yes,
doing that. You got swim meet at Tallulah Falls for the Lions.
And the Lady Lions of the soccer team play tomorrow at 2 o'clock, so I'm going to definitely be in attendance for that game.
After beating Huntington 2-0 last night, getting their second win of conference.
Yes, man. Congratulations to those Lady Lions of the soccer team. And now we have Schnook here, who leads her team in assists. Serving, and Caricato serves up Forrest. Forrest hits it out. Just a little too hard there. And now give the Lady Scots an 8-point lead in this second set. 6 more points, and that will be the end of the second set. Schnook here once more, serving, and she hits it out. Not so well error there on Schnook's behalf. She doesn't really have those type of errors.
It looked like that one came off the side of her hand. Looking at it from up here.
Yeah, she
didn't get the contact she wanted.
She kind of knew it was off when she hit the ball. But now on the other side, Lemons serving for the Lady Lions. Here goes Covenant. Hits once more. Schnook with an assist. Schnook once again with the assist to Miss Smarts out of Naples, Florida.
And once you think you shut down Sturm, here comes the 6'2 junior coming in and getting kills as well, number 18, Martz.
Absolutely. Covenant has a lot of height on their team, actually. A lot of girls that are over the height of 5'10". There goes number 10, the freshman, serving to Lemons. Hubbard hits the net, and that will be another point to Covenant. Piedmont in the second set has really been struggling trying to handle this Covenant pressure as far as hitting the ball. There's Carmen Harbin now serving. Lemons just couldn't get there. Now it'll be another point towards Covenant as they boost their lead up to 10 now in this second set. Wingate now checks in for Carver. Harvey serves to Coelho. Lemon sets up Bierke. Bierke taps it over. Recovered Schnook. Lemons to Coelho. Hubbard hits it. Harvey now. Schnook. And hits hard. Ball is in the air. Lemons there to Coelho. To Bailey.
That ball had some backspin on it too. A little harder to handle.
Absolutely it did. And Covenant once again. That was number 6, Kinsley Dupree. The 5'7" senior out of Cross Plains.
Dupree now with her 6th kill of the game.
Piedmont in trouble here. 2 points for Covenant in this end of the second set. Harvey now serving to Coelho. Back to Harvey. Schnook. And oh my Christ, that was 16 Bailey. These Lady Scots are hitting with massive power.
And accurately too, right on the line there. Nothing the white jerseys can do there.
Up 12 now is the Scots. Harvey back once more serving. And out. Point Piedmont.
Great read by the senior, Katie Hubbard there.
The senior, speaking of it, one of the leaders of the team, Hubbard now back to serve for the Lady Lions. Schnook with the serve. Bailey once more off of Lemons, and that is the end of the second set. Kinsley Dupree sends her team to the third set, going up 2-0. And now We'll be back in a short moment. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube, where your Lady Lions are down 2-0 to the Covenant Scots. Colin, Lady Scots right now, they're hitting with power, they're playing with a lot of energy, and they're playing team volleyball.
Yeah, after a slow start, they really found a rhythm. And first set, very back and forth. Second set, maybe not so much. Lions went on a run for a little while, but Covenant shut that down.
Yes, Covenant right now, 34 kills to Piedmont's 13 and 78 total attacks to Piedmont's 66. So right now, we're really intrigued to see if Piedmont can bounce back in this third set to not get swept in this 12 o'clock game of this tri-match Saturday. To start off, we have Lemon serving. And there goes Marks, or Sturm. Sturm starts it off, who's been very hot in these first two sets. And we have early substitutions. That is Kinsley Dupree and the number 10, the freshman herself, Miss Harvey. Harvey now comes back in to serve. Last set when Harvey was serving, they went on a run, as in Covenant. Here goes Bierke, Harvey, Schnook, and Lemons there to Coelho. Daughtery taps it over. Harvey there. Schnook sets up. Another Scott scores. Miss Bailey, number 16 from Covenant, gives her team the second point of this early third set.
Every Lady Lion was expecting that to go to the far side of the court, and a redirection from Bailey.
There goes Harvey serving once more off of Wingate. Wingate thought Lemons would get there, and Lemons just couldn't, as that will now give Lady Lions a 3-0 deficit to the Covenant Scots early in this third set. Once again, once Harvey is back there serving, the Covenant Scots have been on a run. And there goes Daughtery. Daughtery hits it over. Schnook tapped over by one of the Scots. Here goes Lemons to Wingate. Here goes Libero to Schnook. And that was point Piedmont, as Dupree there just hit it a little too hard. That will now give Piedmont their first point of this third set. And Carver now checks in for Wingate. Carver, the senior, there back to set and serve. And it was point Piedmont once again. The libero Gentry got caught up there once more. She thought the ball was probably going to go out, but it didn't. So I'll give Piedmont their second point.
Little run here with Carver as server would be huge for Piedmont. Try to get back into the set.
There goes Gentry hitting it over to Coelho. Lemon sets up Daughtery. Daughtery hits it over the net, and that will be another point towards Piedmont. As Bailey on the other side. Bailey from Covenant just couldn't get to the ball, as Bailey Daughtery now gets her kill in this third set. Once more, Carver serves off of the hands of Dupree, and Piedmont will now take the lead in this third set. Since Carver checked in, Piedmont has now scored 4 straight points. And Carver spoke a little too soon. She hits it out of bounds, and now will give Covenant a point to tie this game in this third set. Tied at 4 now.
Some momentum now. You can tell it's getting louder in here.
Gentry now serving for the Lady Scots. Coelho sets up Lemons. Lemons sets up Hubbard. Hubbard hits it. Recovered by Covenant. Back to Gentry. Gentry hits it over to Carver. Lemons sets up Bierke. Bierke's been very quiet in this game, but now she's making her impact.
Yeah, now her 4th kill of the game.
And Coelho will now be subbed out for Perkinson. And Bierke now here to set and serve. And there goes Schnook. Lemons. Carver. Daughtery. Schnook to Gentry. Gentry sets up her Covenant teammate. Carver there. And it's tapped over by Sumrall, and that will be a point once more to the Covenant Scots.
Definitely some confusion there on whether or not that ball was going over. Got just enough for Covenant to get their hands on it and send it back over.
Tied at 5 here. It's Barber. Hits the net. That was a serve error on Kennedy Barber's behalf. That now will give Piedmont the lead once more. And we have some substitutions here. Caricato and Chappelle. Caricato and Chappelle now will check in for the Lady Lions. Caricato's now serving. Off of Harvey, sets up, and it is scored once more on the Covenant side. That was Miss Dupree herself, the senior out of Cross Plains, Tennessee. Some substitutions here. Dupree goes out, goes in Miss Jennings, the 5'4" junior out of Clarksville, Georgia. Down the street from here, Demarest Collin.
A little bit of a homecoming for her.
Playing very close to home. Hubbard now hits. Back to Piedmont. Perkinson, and she gets the score. And the score is now 6-7. Lions way. Hubbard, the senior now, here to serve for her Lady Lions.
First time they've led this set. Hopefully that's a sign of a little bit of change.
And that point will now go back to Covenant as they tie the game. Caricato and Wingate just couldn't get there in enough time. Gabby Summerall, the sophomore out of Monroe, back to set for her Lady Scots. They tied at 7 in this third set. Coelho there gets the ball. Caricato taps it over. Summerall just couldn't get there, and now the lead is changing back and forth. Looks like once one team scores, the other team comes back with another score, as we're now at 8-7.
Caricato known as a server, but she records her first kill of the game.
And smack, that was Miss Smarts. Covenant ties the game once more. And we have some substitutions. That is Amber Schnook and Ella Bailey. Schnook, who leads her team in assists.
Yeah, 19 on the day so far.
Serves. Wingate. Caricato. Hubbard. And we have some subs coming in as the sophomores Bailey Daughtery and Aaron Lemons.
Starting to sound like a broken record for number 2 in white. Seems like just about every point we're yelling her name for a spike.
Lemons serves. There goes Snook. Sets up her teammate. That was Miss Sturm, who has been very hot all day today, with another kill. That was off of the hands, or the arms, you could say, of Miss Lemons. And Harvey checks in. So does Dupree. Let's see if Covenant goes on a run once more. Wingate, and that is the start. Here we go. Now give Covenant a 10-9 lead. Harvey once more. And that will be out. Point Piedmont. Hubbard, the senior, making a very veteran move, letting the ball. She can see the ball is traveling out of bounds, and she just lets it go. As Carver now checks in for Wingate. Carver, the senior now.
Last time serving, she had a couple in a row off a few very good serves.
Let's see if she gets the Lady Lions going once more. Here goes Schnook, though. And that point will go once more to Miss Martz, the junior out of Naples. Here goes Lemon setting up Bierke. Bierke, that is out off of Bierke. And that gives Covenant another point. That boosts their lead up to 2 now. And Gentry here to serve the Scots. Coelho and Carver both hit it, but here's Hubbard. Hubbard, that is not a point towards Hubbard. That will be out, or that will be a point towards Hubbard. There's a little confusion there on both sides. Covenant thought that was actually their point.
Yeah, linesman said it was out, but overruled by the center judge.
Coach Stephanie Warden talking to the referee right now about that, and there's a little bit of confusion here about the point that was just towards Hubbard, as now Schnook and Hubbard both approach the referee on the other side of the court. And the point will stay. Katie Hubbard with another kill. And here goes the sophomore Bierke. Been very quiet today so far with the serve. There's a libero, taps it, serves, and that is out. Once again, Covenant, they hit with a lot of power, but that just was not on their side this time as they hit it out. That was Dupree.
Seen that a lot so far in this set. A lot of spikes ending up way over everyone's head.
Here goes Covenant now. Schnook to Dupree. Dupree hits it over. Bierke taps his Lemons. Schnook now to the libero. Libero sets up, and that is in. That was Miss Bailey. That was Ella Bailey, the senior out of St. Augustine, Florida. Now checking in for Amber Schnook is Claudia Beach, the 6-foot freshman from Fort Myers. Goes Kennedy Barber now.
You mentioned the hometowns. Both these schools from Georgia. Covenant only has one Georgia native on their team.
Yes, and now that is another point to Piedmont.
Correction, 2.
Gentry just couldn't get there in that last possession. That will be tied now. Piedmont is now on their own little run as Caricato checks in for the Lady Lions. Serves is Caricato. Sets is Bailey. Caricato now hits. Hubbard. In! Katie Hubbard, the senior, once again making her impact felt. And Coach Warden for the Covenant Scots will now need a timeout as her team is now down 1 in this third set. And we will be back in a short moment of time. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on YouTube. And out of the timeout, your Covenant Scots. Piedmont Lady Lions are now up 1 on the Covenant Scots in this third set. As Miss Caricato for the Lady Lions, the sophomore, or the freshman, my mistake, will now serve. There goes Coelho. Caricato sets up Hubbard. Hubbard! Once more, Katie Hubbard. She's on fire, Colin. She's scored the last 2 points for Piedmont.
Yeah, now at 4 kills in this set for Hubbard, 8 total on the game.
Caricato serving once more for the Lady Lions. Harvey. Summerall hits it. Hubbard hits it now. Ribeiro sets up, and that will be point to Miss Dupree, hitting with all of her might. As we have 2 substitutions coming in for the Covenant Scots. That is Sarah Jennings and the Lady of the Hour, Delaney Sturm, has been very hot in this game. Jennings serves. Here goes Piedmont. Now Hubbard hits it over. Tapped out. That's Sturm. Sturm comes back in the game and scores right away with another kill. Man, Colin, once this game is over, we're going to see how many kills Sturm has racked up in this game.
So far, she's got her jersey number in kills, 15.
Here goes Hubbard now, fading backwards, hits it over the net though. Here goes Chappelle. Chappelle gets blocked by Summerall, and that will now be point towards Covenant as that now gives them the lead back, up 16-15 in this third set.
Got to have it set for Piedmont, and we're getting an exciting one.
Here goes Covenant with the serve. Caricato to Perkinson. There goes Libero. Here goes Sturm. Sturm once more. She hit it right in between 3 Lady Lions as none of them can get there fast enough to the ball. So now gives Covenant a 2-point lead in this third set. Here's a junior Jennings, serves once more. Carver there. Caricato sets up Hubbard. Hubbard hits it. Hubbard, and that will be in. As Carver now comes out, and Wingate checks in. Hubbard, the senior, now serves. Hubbard. Serves, she goes. And that is out. Hubbard's a little frustrated with herself. Puts Covenant lead back up to 2. And a substitution on Covenant's side. That is Miss March. Checking in for the libero, Gentry. Serves is Summerall, but Summerall hits it too hard. Summerall will come out now, and Gentry checks right back in the game. And Coelho now on the other side for the Lady Lions. She's now serving. Coelho, the libero, here serving. Go to Scots. Here goes Mertz. Taps it right over. Caricato there to Coelho. To Chappelle. And hit. And it is blocked by Bjerke. That was Beach. She tried to hit it over, but Bjerke said, no, ma'am. Long outstretched hands of Bjerke. Now brings Piedmont to tie with Covenant in this third set at 18.
We've seen the Lions struggle a lot with blocks today. Just trying to control them, but Bjerke really dialed that one in.
Chappelle tries to tap it over, but it hits the net. And that will be a 1-point advantage for the Covenant Scots. As Miss Claudia Beach, the freshman from Fort Myers, Florida, will now serve. Coelho there now on the receiving end. Chappelle hits it over. Beach back. There goes Wingate. The Caricato sets up Bjerke. Bjerke taps it over. Point Piedmont. And the Impact sophomores will now check in. Daughtery and Lemons. And Lemons now serves. Sets up. Mertz hits it over. Hubbard with the save. Lemons there. Coelho taps it over. Gentry sets up Covenant, and that's Sturm. She gets blocked by Daughtery. Sturm, who's been on fire all day, Colin, finally gets some repercussions there. She got blocked by Daughtery, and that now gives the Lions a 1-point lead in this third set.
Very rare mistake coming from Sturm, leaving that one short.
Sturm sets up. Sturm hits it over. Coelho there. Wingate gets blocked. Back, it's Martz. Bjerke. Sturm. Martz hits it, and it's off of Hubbard's hands. The duo of Scarlett Martz and Delaney Sturm have been on a burner today, Colin. 20 apiece in this third set. 5 points is whether we end it or we go to the fourth. And that'll be a point Piedmont as they push them slightly closer to the benchmark of 25. Wingate will now serve for the Lady Lions. Sets, hits. Lemon sets up Hubbard. Hubbard hits it. Gentry's back. Hubbard hits it once more off of Gentry's hands. And that will be another point towards Piedmont. Katie Hubbard making her impact once again. The senior.
Using Gentry's hit as a setup for a big, powerful hit for Hubbard. She has 10 kills now on the day.
And Colin, we're down to the final moments in this third set, but we're going to take a break. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, to the final stretch in this third set of Piedmont Women's Volleyball, where your Lady Lions are up 2 in this third set to the Covenant Scots. We're off of a timeout now from Coach Warden of the Covenant Scots. Here goes Wingate now for Lady Lions with the serve.
Said gotta have it set for the Lions, down 2-0.
Lemon sets up Hubbard, who's been hot. Gentry, and that will be another point towards Piedmont, as Beach just couldn't get there in enough time. Lady Lions now 2 points out from sending this to a fourth set.
All the momentum going towards white right now.
Wingate, Gentry here. There goes Mertz. And no, Lemons hits it. Hubbard couldn't get there as it sails out of bounds, as the point will now go to Covenant. And Gentry, the libero, now serving. And it will be point Piedmont. That would be a net error there. Gentry just can't get the ball over. Bierke now. Sarah Bierke, the sophomore, here to serve for Lady Lions. There's Barber, taps it over. Wingate there. Lemons sets up, taps over actually. Bierke, Lemons hits it back. Daughtery gets blocked.
Summerall, the 6'1" sophomore, was not letting that ball over the net.
Piedmont needs 1 point now just to send it to the fourth set. Coelho checks back in, the senior. And Barber serves. Here goes Lemons. Sets up Hubbard. Gentry there. Here goes Lemons. Sets up Perkinson now. Perkinson will send it to the fourth set. Kaya Perkinson. Lady Lions are just not done yet. They're ready for set 4. And that is the end of the third set, everybody. We'll be back in a short moment as your Lady Lions are prepared to go for battle in the fourth set. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on YouTube. Welcome back. We're in the fourth set now. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on YouTube, where your Lady Lions have surged their way into a fourth set against the Covenant Lady Scots. In that last set, we seen Kaya Perkinson with a good kill send her Lady Lions team to the fourth set, Colin.
Very entertaining set. We had 14 tied scores and 5 lead changes in the third set compared to the second set when it was all Covenant. Hopefully some momentum now for Piedmont as they look to crawl their way back in.
Now at 2-1 here with LaGrange in the waist, looking down at both Piedmont and Covenant, looking at their competition for their next 2 games. It's the Scots now. Amber Schnook will now serve for those Lady Lions. Goes Hubbard now, sets up Daughtery. Schnook hits it, and it is point. That was Kinsley Dupree hitting with all her might once more. Kaya Perkinson couldn't handle the ball. She got stuck between herself and the net. That will give Covenant the first point of this fourth set. Lemon sets up Perkinson. Gentry there. Mertz hits it. Hubbard recovers. Lemon's there. Daughtery taps it over. Gentry now. There goes Schnook setting up Sturm. Sturm is out. And subs, Caricato and Chappelle come in for the sophomores, Lemons and Daughtery. And Caricato, Schnook, Mertz. That was very interesting to see. It was almost like that was practiced. I talked about it right before it happened.
Man, what are you supposed to do when you have 2 people like Sturm and Martz on the court at the same time? Sturm recording kills left and right. Martz 6'2" at the net. Not afraid to slam one down either.
Caricato, Wingate. Libero now there. And it's Bailey. And Coelho with the save. I thought it hit the floor. And a little bit of confusion, and Covenant just can't handle the ball. That'll not be point Piedmont. Carver now coming in for Wingate. And here goes Carver, the senior. Serves. Here goes Schnook. Schnook with another assist to Dupree. Schnook is setting her teammates and putting them in perfect position to get a kill right then and there.
Her 23rd assist of the game.
Here's Hubbard now. Hubbard right in the lines, and that will now be a 3rd point for Piedmont. And it's tied both ways now, Colin, 3-3. There's Coelho, the senior libero. Sets up Snook. Snook to Summerall, hits it over. Now Hubbard now hits it herself. Bjerke hits it out. More subs for the Lady Scots. The Scots have so much depth. It is absolutely crazy to me. I think I've named off at least over 10 players.
Well, when you're going to play 4 games in the span of 2 days, you're going to need that bench.
Here's Hubbard now. Chappelle on the other side. Taps it over, but it's well out of bounds. Now we'll give Covenant now once more another point. That'll boost her lead up to 2. Here goes Kennedy Barber, the junior out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, serving for her team. Now here's Hubbard down the reception. And Chappelle fading backwards, hits the ball, and it goes straight to the net.
Well, before this run from Covenant, we had seen 3 lead changes and 3 ties. By the time it was 3-3.
And Barber.
3 straight points.
And Barber once more. Hubbard. Caricado sets up Hubbard. Hubbard taps it over. Gentry there. And a setup. Summerall hits it over, but Chappelle was there. Now here's Bierke tapping it over. Now it's Barber's back. Gentry now on the other side. Caricado now to Coelho. And it's a lot going on here. Hold on tight, ladies and gentlemen. Caricado to Berkey. It's stuck. And Covenant recovers, but it will be a point to Piedmont, and Covenant's confused now. This is the third time in this game, Colin, that the coach of Covenant has had to talk to the referee about a point being going to Piedmont. In that last possession there, the ball was stuck between the net, between two Covenant people and the net. And the point right afterwards went straight to Piedmont, but the coach is trying to get a justifiable reason for why that is.
I think we are too. A lot of confusion on that play, but we'll take it for the home team.
Yes, Coach Warden over there for the Covenant Scots is very frustrated talking to her assistant coaches about the refereeing today, but so be it. Point goes Piedmont, and here's Erin Lemons now serving for her team. Makes another setup, and that was saved actually. Here goes Barber on the other side. Lemons sets up Bierke. Bierke hits it over. The libero hits it. The Covenant tapped over, and Carver just couldn't get there. That will be Summerall, the sophomore from Monroe. Now here, 14, Sarah Jennings serving, and that is out off of Jennings, and that'll be another point towards Piedmont. As now a sub, we have Alex Wingate checking in for Carver, the senior, and Hubbard now will now serve for her team, as they are now down 2 in this fourth set. Hubbard goes Barber now, setting up Sturm. Sturm stuck. Barber hits it, blocked by Bierke. And now the score is 6-7. Piedmont down 1.
All 4 sets have featured a 7-6 score in one variety or another.
Hubbard serving. Barber tries to tap it, and it will be point once more to Piedmont. They tie the game now at 7. The senior Hubbard once more serving. There goes Gentry. Barber sets up her teammate Summerall, and Summerall brings the house down. And now the 6'2" ma'am herself, Mertz, checks right back in the game for Miss Gentry. Summerall right after the kill now serves for her team. Coelho, Lemons, Wingate hits it. Recovered by Covenant, sets up Barber, Mertz. Sturm right off of Erin Lemons' hands. The ball goes to the girls in the stands. That is LaGrange players actually.
Man, aside from number 14, Sarah Jennings, the 5'4" junior, everyone wearing black on the court right now is over 5'10". And that height showing to be a factor now.
Yeah, Smirch now with the kill. And right now, Coach Cat is trying to coach her team up right now as it's looking kind of dangerous as Covenant is on one of those runs again that we were talking about earlier, Colin. Here's Summerall. Coelho now the receiving end. Lemon sets up Daughtery. Daughtery hits it. Covenant's there. And here is Sturm. And Lemons couldn't get there. Now a 4-point lead for the Covenant Ladies Scots. They are pushing the lead out further and further as the possessions go on. They're now on a massive run. Summerall serving once more. Hubbard. Tapped by Lemons. Here goes Covenant now. Barber sets up Mertz. Mertz taps it over and Hubbard can't get there. At this point, Covenant is literally just hitting the ball. They're not even They're just tapping it, actually, not even hitting it anymore. They're tapping it to the open spots where Piedmont Lady Lions are not. As the lead is now 5, Colin. We'll be back in a short moment. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, to Piedmont Women's Volleyball. We're in the 4th set now of this tri-match where your Lady Lions are down 5 to the Covenant Scots in this first game of this tri-match Saturday, 12-7. As we now have here Miss Gabby Sumrall, the sophomore. She's here to serve. There was Hubbard to Lemons. Wingate hits it. There's Sumrall, and it is out. The first mistake in a while for Covenant. That now will give Piedmont a point as they're now only down 4 in this 4th set. As Perkinson now checks in for Coelho, and Berkey now. Bierke, my mistake. There to serve, and Mertz taps it over once more. Lemons there though this time. Bierke to Wingate. Saved by one of the Covenant Scots. And that was a point to Piedmont. It was out of bounds as Miss Claudia Beach, the freshman, just hit it a little too hard.
Another disagreement from head coach Stephanie Wharton. She thought that ball was in.
Yes, Miss Wharton of the Covenant Scots has been very displeased with the point differential and point scoring, as in what has been going on in this game. It's Bierke now to Wingate. Saved by the Scots. That is Sturm. And that will be in. Point Covenant once more. And we have some substitutions. That is the leader in assists for not just today, but on the season. Miss Schnook, the senior, coming in for Covenant. And she is actually here to serve now, as our team is up 4 in this 4th set. Serves, here goes Lemons to Daughtery. Daughtery gets blocked. Schnook. Here goes Hubbard now. Lemons sets up Perkinson. Perkinson hits it. Here goes Mertz. Mertz! Once more. Oh, Stern.
Now the 19th kill of the game for Stern.
19 kills. There's Lemons to Hubbard. Hubbard hits it, fading backwards though. Schnook. Hubbard there. Lemons taps it over. Schnook hits it but cannot save. That ball go out of bounds. That would be a point Piedmont. Smart move by Aaron Lemons. As now Caricato and Chappelle will come in for those sophomores, Daughtery and Lemons. And Caricato here to serve for a team down 5 in this 4th set. And Caricato sails the ball way over the Scots' heads, and that'll be out. More subs for the Lady Scots. That's Miss Harvey once more, and Kinsley Dupree. Harvey now, the freshman, back there to serve for her Lady Scots teammates. And off the ball goes Hubbard now on the receiving end. Caricato sets up Perkinson. Perkinson! The senior Kaya Perkinson with the kill. And substitutions going all around here now. That is Miss Abby Carver coming in for Alex Wingate. Carver now, the senior, back to serve. There she goes. Snook sets up. Perkinson taps it over. And that will be a point to Covenant.
Looks like the net was touched there by a white jersey, forfeiting the point.
Summerall comes in for Mertz. And a timeout will be called. Coach Kat Tatum sees our team is in danger now with Covenant only 8 points out from winning this game. We'll be back in a short moment of time. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Piedmont Women's Volleyball, where your Lady Lions are down in this fourth set to the Covenant Lady Scots. As number one here, the libero Gentry now serves off of Carver to Caricato to Hubbard, right off of the net, and that point will go to Piedmont. And a substitution here quickly is Bierke coming in for Perkinson.
Hubbard let all her frustration out on that shot.
And Coelho serves for Piedmont. Snook. Summerall right back at it. And we have two more subs on the other end. That is Beach and Barber. Speaking of Barber, she's going to serve.
We've been talking about Snook a lot with assists. Barber quietly has 22 assists, not far behind Snook.
And Bierke right out of bounds. That point will go right back to Covenant. Or not, as actually Piedmont's point, as Covenant once again is in distraught. They're very confused at how it was not out.
Based on the center judge's hand signal, it looked like that shot may have been deflected before it went out.
Yeah, Colin, you've seen once the ball had touched the ground, the Covenant ladies started celebrating, and then out of nowhere, the ref shifted his hand to the other side and gave the point to Piedmont. Here's now Aaron Lemons, a sophomore, serving. Gentry serves the Beach. Beach hits it over. Hubbard there on, and there goes Barber. Gentry now, and it's hit. And that point will go to Piedmont. Dupree hit it just a little bit too hard. The Piedmont lead is shortly cutting down now to 4. Lemons serves. There goes Barber now to Dupree. Dupree hits the net. That is a net error on her behalf, and that will push Piedmont deficit down to 3 now. Piedmont's now on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, well, since the timeout, seeing a 3-1 run. So maybe a good timeout and a good talking to by Coach Tatum.
And here goes Carver to Lemons to Daughtery. Daughtery hits it over, way over. That is out.
Maybe we jinxed it.
And a point will go back to Covenant. Now back up to 4 as, that is Miss Sturm, who's been very hot today. With so many kills, Colin. I don't even know how many she has anymore. I mean, last time we checked, we had 19, right?
Yeah, she's got 19 so far. I'm sorry, up to 20 now on the day.
20. As Dupree serves for her team. And there goes Hubbard, taps over. Barber tries to save, actually is. Lady Lions, there goes Coelho, taps it over. The libero, Barber sets up. Summerall right off of Coelho's arms. And that point will go to Covenant. Now up 5 in this 4th set. Add 5 more, and that will be the end of this game, of this first game actually, in this tri-match.
Man, Summerall has a rifle for a right hand. That ball explodes off her palm.
Here's Hubbard to Daughtery. Barber sets up now. So Sturm right off of Coelho's arms. And then couldn't get there. Between Hubbard and Bierke, that now sets Covenant's lead up to 6.
That play was a perfect example of why Piedmont libero Zoe winning Defensive Player of the Week quite a few times this season.
Yeah, Coelho there got all the way
dig.
down. Coelho there got all the way down to the floor to make sure that ball didn't hit the floor actually. But even though her efforts were great, Piedmont still lost that possession. As Dupree here serving, and that will be a point. Carver just let the ball go. And she would now be subbed out for Wingate.
Yeah, she heard from her peers that that ball was going out, so she watched it.
And that point now, the lead is actually at 7 now, 3 points away from the big dub for Covenant. Another conference win for them too if they win this set. And Hubbard hits it hard, saves, or maybe not. Dupree couldn't hit it backwards, she hit it straight up. And that will now give Piedmont another point. That gives them their 16th point of this set actually. Hubbard now. Here to serve for the Lady Lions. Gentry. Barber sets up. Sturm. Blocked by Daughtery. And it's out of bounds actually off of Daughtery. That point will go to Covenant. Here's Sumrall. The sophomore. Setting her team up. Sumrall now hitting. Coelho on the receiving end. Lemons sets up Bierke. Bierke blocks. Gets blocked by the net actually. And the score is now 24-16. The Lady Lions are in trouble here. 1 point. And that will be a loss in the loss column for them. Sumrall serves. And Sumrall gets blocked by the net. Now it gives the Lady Lions a chance at revival here. It gives them the 17th point of this 4th set. And Bierke now here getting ready to serve for her Lady Lions teammates. Bierke hits. Sturm hits. Barber sets up Sturm. Sturm! Up! Sturm hits it back. Daughtery couldn't get it, and that will end the game for the Lady Lions.
What a fitting way for that to end. Sturm with the kill to end it, her 22nd in the game.
Man, that was a great game calling. The Covenant Lady Scots beat our Lady Lions 3-1. And in our next game, we have the Covenant Scots against LaGrange. So that's a 2 o'clock game calling. So we'll see you guys in a very short moment of time. But we hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Our second game of our tri-match is up next at 2 o'clock. We'll be back very shortly. You're watching Piedmont Women's Volleyball on Piedmont Athletics on YouTube.